Welcome, pioneers of the future and leaders of today. Step into our holographic sphere of imagination, where ideas get a digital heartbeat and become living entities of success. Standing with you at the heart of this virtual landscape are two stalwarts, your guides for this deep dive into the digital depths of industry titans, Eric and Phil. Eric, a seasoned tech-savvy strategist, and Phil, the mastermind of algorithms and streamlined processes. Together, they help build the towering digital empires you admire, the innovators and disruptors that have set the gold standard in the industry. Now, what if I told you that the very secret that fuels these industry giants are within your reach? That the digitization of ideas, which they masterfully deploy, could be harnessed by you, the fearless pioneers of the SME world. Yes, you heard it right. Here on Burnt Phone Marketing Radio with Eric and Phil, we decode the secret algorithm that's been the silent powerhouse behind the most successful entities. We bring insights from navigating the pulsating data highways and deconstructing technological obstacles. It's not just about dreaming anymore. It's about transforming those dreams into tangible realities. We equip you with the knowledge to make that leap, just as we've done with numerous successful businesses. So prepare for a journey that has the power not just to revolutionize your digital enterprises, but to reshape the very contours of the industry itself. Ladies and gentlemen, with Eric and Phil, let's code your dreams into tomorrow's reality. Welcome to Burnt Phone Marketing Radio.
Welcome back, everybody, to Burnt Phone Marketing Radio. And today we're actually going to talk about something that, is kind of near and dear to me. Because all over the place, you hear about staff shortages. You hear about the people that, there's not enough people. There's not enough of the good people. All of the people that are out there, don't want to work. And I totally think that's incorrect. I think that's something that, if we continue to say something over and over again, it becomes one of our truths. So I've got Phil here today, like always. Phil will always be my wingman here on Burnt Phone Marketing Radio. So I got him, and we're going to talk a little bit about automation supporting staff shortages. And I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's an ad, and I'll put it in the show notes. There's an ad that shows that McDonald's in Colorado somewhere, has 100% fully automated store. 100% fully automated store. So I want you to think about this. As I was a manager in retail before. I don't have to worry about calling my people in and saying, "Are you going to show up? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that?" And I want you guys to think about this as you guys walk through the day, your day. Notice how many more auto checkouts there are. How many more self checkouts there are. How many more little kiosks there are. Back in the day, ATM machines were one of the first automation machines that actually people embraced. At first, people didn't want to put their card into an ATM machine, but now there's ATM machines everywhere. Automatic teller machines.
They thought ATM machines were going to kill the tellers in the banking system. They didn't think they were going to need any tellers, but they still need tellers. Good example of automation in banking is Chase Bank. You have you go into a lot of the Chase branches and they only have maybe one or two tellers there, and the rest is all machines. So you can go in and do everything hands-free. You can make deposits, you can make withdrawals, do whatever, right? Really good example.
And then one of the cool things about that is, think about that. You're not getting somebody off the street. You're actually people that are jockeying for that job. They want to be one of the two people that are there. They want to be there. So that's one of the things that I love about making it so that the funnel of the jobs are, the people that are there want to be there. But as we talk about like automation and how things are automating, because Phil, you do a lot with systemization and getting workflows and stuff like that. What have you seen in like bigger companies where people are really leveraging, automation and AI and that kind of things for a human being? What does that look like?
I think when it comes to automation, there's a lot of talk about like staffing shortages for certain skills and things like that, and that's where automation is going to come into play, and AI with automation. They're going to have a lot of capabilities that they wouldn't normally have had in the past. So they can do things like bring in somebody who may be a lower level programming analyst or coder, and they can actually use the automation piece to help that coder learn faster and get more advanced and maybe fill a more senior position so that they can eliminate some of those staff shortages. And kind of, it's going to be kind of a more an educational cycle to get in there and automate that shortage. We want to be able to educate people. We want to be able to get them jobs, right? We want to be able to make sure that the unemployment rate stays down, and automation, despite what everybody's saying right now, is going to be a really good ticket to that, because there are certain things that you want to have automated. And if you have somebody that's taking their time away from their job to educate somebody else, you're losing time in two places instead of just one. So taking an automation position in education, especially within corporations, is going to be something that's really big in the future, so that they can, excuse me, so they can educate their employees. And also for those employees who are more ambitious, they can really push them to leadership positions and let the automation do things that you don't necessarily have to do, on a day-to-day basis. There's lots of activities within inside companies that are just repetitious and don't really need to be handled by human beings anymore. Computer programs can do those much more efficiently, much faster, and allow people to do things that they're better suited for, they may have more interest in, and it'll make the company an all-around better culture, better place to work.
It's almost like staying in your lane. Like you're going to accelerate somebody to do things. And one thing that you said that just kind of popped out at me is, I'm reading this book. If you've never read this book, it's called Buy Your Time Back, and it's by Dan something. Like I'll put it in the show notes. Buy Your Time Back. But he talks about like creating like playbooks. And the playbooks are basically what he was doing before was he was actually driving 6 hours back and forth from Canada to his office in New York, and he would actually get a new hire and he would train them inside there. And this is back when you couldn't use like hotspots on your phone. He literally had a server in the trunk with a Ethernet cable. I know some of you guys don't even know what I'm talking about. So they literally had a server inside the trunk with an Ethernet cable that would come to the front, and he would basically do the training as he was driving 6 hours with the new employee, the new hire. So what he did was he said, you know what, I'm just going to, and he called it camcorder. I'm going to camcorder everything. He literally camcorders everything he does and does what he calls playbooks. So the cool thing about that is, think about this. If you're doing playbooks over and over and over again, you can literally see which employees really want to drive and get to the next level, because they're running through the playbooks, they're implementing the playbooks, they're doing all these things, but it's giving you checkpoints and it's automating yourself. I mean, that's not automation, but it is automating yourself. Now, there's a system called Trainual, another thing that he's part of. He talks about it inside the piece. And when we were in Phoenix, one of the guys actually talked about Trainual, and literally it'll do SOPs for you. You literally ask it what it will do, what you want it to do, and it literally will write the SOPs and create a training manual, which is basically a playbook for you. So, I mean, that's super cool. I mean, like what you just said, like helping someone accelerate at a speed where they want to accelerate is just such a big deal, because nowadays, like, we're pushing more towards a non-salary, more commission-based gig type of economy. Like you work, Jim Rohn says it best. The marketplace doesn't pay you hourly. They pay you for the value that you bring to the marketplace. So you just become more valuable, and you're not going to run into those things. You're not going to run into these issues. Let's be honest. Like I love checkers at the grocery store, but let's be honest. you can go in and you can check your own groceries. They show it, like in our Fred Meyer's, it's not gigantic in our Fred Meyer's, or you guys would call it Kroger. There's 9 to 10 self-checkout units and 3 to 4 different like real person people. So that already is taking that process out of the way. And I mean, like, think about it. Yeah. Amazon, they just ship it to your door. They cut everybody out. Literally, that's automation.
Yeah, and with automation, you're going to have a lot of things come up in companies that they're still going to need human beings for, right? But it's the simple things that are going to be automated. So there's going to be an opportunity for people to come into companies and get more specialized in certain areas so that they can actually do things that are more suited to them. I mean, how many of you have gone into a job and you've read that little line at the bottom of your job description that says "and all other duties," right? You got a job to do what you applied for, right? You don't necessarily want to have to do all the other duties. Oftentimes, all other duties means something simple. It could mean going in and doing a specific task every day wherever you work. That may be something that gets automated in the future, so you don't have to do that anymore, right? It's already done when you come in there. It's going to bring about a change, and I think companies, once they adopt the change and understand the change, it'll really adjust the way that the cultures are in companies, and I think it's going to make for a much more enjoyable workplace, whether you're working in the office or whether you're working at home, right? We have so many people working at home that one of the other big things that automation is going to accomplish is a lot of people are doing their own thing, right? They're doing side hustles, or they're doing full-time work from home. They own a business, they create, they sell on Etsy, they do drop shipping on Amazon, they could have a social media company. All those things, have come about because we were home. We spent 2 years at home during COVID. People got bored. People got, they needed to make money. They got creative in how they did it. So this is what's coming in the future. So it's not just the companies that are going to be creating different kind of jobs. It's people are going to be creating their own jobs. There's a really cool book that just came out. It's Exponential Organizations. It's a guy by the name of Peter Diamandis. He talks about what they call exo organizations or exponential organizations, which essentially within the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to see the first billion-dollar corporation that only has 3 employees, because everything else is going to be automated, right? And the philosophy behind this exponential organization is really cool. So their staffing model is a staff on demand model. So think of anything that you need to get done, you just go to Fiverr, or you go to any of the other on-demand sites out there that you can get a highly specialized individual to do one thing for you, and then you just do that, over and over, and eventually you have your whole company built, and you have an army of contractors that work for you whenever you need them, but not all the time, right?
Right. They're not on staff. They're not taking up payroll that's not payroll.
You keep your company really lean. You're still able to pursue your vision for your company, stay on the mission. You can still maintain the values of your company. You're just doing the work in a much more innovative and automated fashion.
Well, and I think on that, if there's 3 to 4 different people, they can make decisions a lot faster, which is key. They can make adjustments a lot faster. So I'm going to ask you the last question, and this is going right back to the opening. What are your thoughts on in the next 5 years? We're probably going to be going into a lot of restaurants where, we don't, there's going to be those ones. And let's be honest, there's going to be those ones where you go for the atmosphere, you go for the people, you go for those feelings. you go for those certain steakhouses, those certain places.
There's always the people that like to get the record player out and play the vinyl records, right? So I mean, there's always going to be restaurants, the diners and stuff like that, where you can go sit down and there's actually a person there waiting on you. But for the majority, there's going to be a big push to automate a lot of that.
I think 100% that the next big push is after grocery is literally going to be fast food. And the reason why is because, what they talked about in the founder, what made McDonald's is it was simple. It was a process. It was almost automated. It's something that can be done by pretty much everybody they have the playbooks for the playbooks. Now, you take the people out of there. Let's be honest. Like, you've had kids, I've had kids. You could care. That's why people go through the drive-through, because they don't care about who's giving them the food. They just care that they're getting the food. So, I'm just concerned, straight up, I'm concerned about that marketplace.
And I'm sure there's some people out there thinking, as a parent, there's like, well, where are our kids going to start out? Like, where are they going to get a job?
Yeah, everybody used to work at McDonald's. Growing up in the 90s, where are you going to work at? McDonald's?
I flipped burgers and McDonald's for a couple of years. Yeah. But there's going to be other things. There's going to be other opportunities that come across the table for kids, for 16, 17, 18-year-olds to kind of cut their teeth on the working class and get jobs and figure out how to earn their money. It's just going to change into something a little bit different, right? They're not going to have to flip burgers. They may be doing something that's more office type job. They may be doing something that's more physical. Who's to say they don't want to go, figure out how to do mechanic work or something like that. So it's just gonna morph into something a little bit different. But with the fast food, one of the things I'm excited about is driving through McDonald's or Wendy's and having my order be right all the time.
You own it. You messed it up. You didn't communicate or articulate right with the machine, so the machine gave you what it was told.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's just our take on what's going to happen in the near future with automating employees, and then the augmentation of how staffing is the way it is. And let's be honest, it's big. It's a big thing. Staff is important. I love to say, if you take care of your people will take care of you. It's just that now you're going to have a little bit less people and a lot more automation. So if automation is something that you look for, if systematic type things is what you're looking for, if those are the things you're looking for in your business, if you're looking for virtual assistants, if you're looking for stuff like that, like getting projects done, you're at the right podcast, you're at the right place, because we're going to go over those things. And like I said, Phil is a stalwart for the things that he's doing. He's created efficiencies in huge businesses, not just huge business, but smaller business as well. So we'll hope to see you on the next episode, and make sure you take a listen to the full outro, because the full outro literally gives you something that's pretty epic, that literally one day could change efficiency of your business. In a 24-hour period, your business could change drastically just by the assessment. So that being said, make sure you listen to the full outro, and we'll see you on the next episode of Burnful Marketing Radio.
Imagine an exclusive one-day assessment tailored to transform your company into an automation powerhouse. It's not just any ordinary assessment. It's a game-changing blueprint that will propel your business toward 100% automation. Our exclusive assessment will uncover the path to unparalleled automation. Say goodbye to mundane tasks and unlock new levels of efficiency and growth. Don't miss this opportunity to revolutionize your company. Book a call now to secure your spot for an assessment. Let's code your dreams into tomorrow's reality and begin this transformative journey today.